Angela wasn't old, but she wasn't young either, and that was becoming more evident every day, week, month. 37. That strange middle space where you still remember how things used to be, but you've had to learn to adapt to how things are now. She grew up in a world where the phone was attached to the wall, where you memorized numbers and waited for people to call back. Now, her phone rarely left her hand. It was her calendar, her clock, her to-do list, her inbox, her stress machine. The thing about being constantly connected, she thought, was that it never lets you stop. Even when she wasn't working, she was working. Replying to messages, checking notifications, scanning LinkedIn or Instagram just to stay current. Every buzz or ping made her heart skip for a second, then settle into that dull anxiety she'd come to accept as normal. Angela worked in HR at a company that used to be family-owned. She'd joined back when it felt warm, birthdays remembered, people calling each other by name. Then it grew and it got bought out. Now there were more meetings, more forms, more people with job titles that didn't make sense. The family feeling got replaced by quarterly goals and words like efficiency and alignment. Everyone smiled on Zoom, but half of them looked dead behind the eyes. She was good at her job, maybe too good. Reliable, steady. The person who got things done even when she was falling apart inside. People came to her with their problems, burnout, conflict, stress. She'd listen, nod, give advice she wasn't taking herself. Make sure you take time for you, she'd say, smiling that professional HR smile that never reached her eyes. But her time never really belonged to her. Angela had a husband, 2 kids, and parents who'd moved in to help because daycare was a second mortgage. It was a full house, full of love, full of noise, full of constant needs. When she got home from work, her real shift began. Dinner, homework, laundry, checking in on her parents' medications. She'd collapse into bed around midnight, too wired to sleep, too tired to think. She loved her family, truly. But sometimes she just wanted a few hours of nothing. No emails, no questions, no noise. And when she did get a rare moment alone, she didn't know what to do with it. The silence felt foreign, like she'd forgotten how to exist without filling space. She wasn't depressed exactly, just worn thin. Her anxiety hummed quietly under everything like background static. It wasn't panic attacks or breakdowns. It was the constant low hum of too much. Too much to do, too much to think about, too much she couldn't say out loud. Her parents' generation didn't get it. They'd worked hard too, harder maybe, but their world had edges. Work ended when you clocked out. Phones didn't follow you to bed. The new generation didn't get it either. They wanted flexibility, recognition, instant results. Angela didn't blame them, but she didn't understand them either. Her generation was stuck in between, expected to work like the old world and adapt like the new. It was exhausting. Sometimes Angela would scroll through social media late at night. Pictures of friends from high school with perfect-looking lives, smiling kids, clean kitchens, couples who still looked happy. She knew it wasn't real, that everyone was curating their highlight reel. But still, she'd scroll and compare, scroll and ache. It wasn't envy exactly. It was longing for something slower, simpler, quieter. She talked to people all day, at work, at home, online, but she couldn't remember the last time she really connected. Her husband was kind, but tired too. They spoke mostly in logistics now. Did you pick up the groceries? Who's driving the kids? Did you pay the bill? Her friends texted in group chats, but they rarely met up anymore. Everyone was busy, and busy had become a kind of badge. Angela used to think being busy meant being useful, being productive. Now she found herself wondering if it just meant being absent from your own life. One night, after everyone had gone to bed, she sat in the living room with the lights off. The only glow came from her phone screen. Unread emails, news updates, notifications. She turned it face down on the table. She took a deep breath. The quiet settled around her. For the first time in a long time, it wasn't uncomfortable. She closed her eyes and listened to the house breathe. The hum of the refrigerator, the ticking of the clock, her own heartbeat. For a moment, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Stillness. It didn't last, but it was enough to remind her that peace was still possible, even if she didn't know how to hold on to it yet. Angela isn't unhappy. She's just tired. The kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. She's never truly alone. People, screens, responsibilities fill every inch of her life. And yet, she feels it every day. That hollow quiet that lives somewhere between her ribs. It's the paradox of her time, of her generation. Never alone, but always lonely.